to Yvonne Meets Food. Today we are going to be making chicken curry in the Instant Pot today. Instant Pot is probably my all-time favorite kitchen appliance. It has massive, massive fans all over the world for very obvious reasons. There are 9-in-1, 7-in-1 Instant Pots that you can get. It's multifunctional. You can use it for pressure cooking, slow cooking, cooking rice, making porridge, making yogurt. But there's so many different things that you can do with it, and I'm just totally obsessed with mine. One of the things that we're gonna be making today is this chicken curry, which I'm gonna show you how to make really, really quickly, assuming that you do a little bit of prep work in advance. So oftentimes when people think about Indian cooking, they think, oh wow, it takes a lot of different spices, it's gonna be really laborious, I'm gonna have to do a lot of chopping. All those things are kind of true, but what I would say is that for the most part, if you have kind of like a basis of, the main spices that you need, they're actually usable in multiple different cuisines. Whether you're making Asian food, Middle Eastern food, a lot of the spices are used in those cultures as well. So if you have a really well-stocked pantry as an investment in the beginning, it really pays off in the end. Another thing that you can do to expedite the cooking time for Indian cooking is to do prep work in advance. So prep work meaning what you see here is my tomato onion masala. I've been getting these tips from a lot of the different food groups that I'm in on Facebook, as well as different food blogs that I've been reading. But if you basically use a base of tomato, onion, garlic, ginger, plus a few spices like turmeric, paprika, cayenne in advance, and then freeze them into cubes in your freezer, that'll actually expedite the time that it takes to making a lot of these delicious traditional Indian dishes. I'll do another video that showcases how to make tomato onion masala so that you have it in your freezer at all times so that you can make Indian food, kind of whenever you feel like it. We'll go through how to make this chicken curry with this base. So to get started, what we're gonna do is go through all the ingredients that we have. So the tomato onion masala, we'll go through the steps on how to make that in a separate video. But I've got about 2 cubes of it. So each cube is about 1/4 cup, so about 1/2 cup of the tomato onion masala, 1.5 pounds of cubed chicken thighs. I've already pre-cubed this. You can use 1.5 to 2 pounds. I strongly prefer using chicken thighs over chicken breast for many, many reasons. Number one reason is they're just more flavorful because they have a bit more fat content. They're also just in general more nutritious. Don't let the amount of fat deter you from eating it. Fat means flavor. The chicken fat in chicken thighs is not going to be bad for your health. So if you're gonna eat chicken, you might as well have the good pieces and not the flavorless ones. For the spices that we're gonna use, we're gonna have about 1 teaspoon of whole cumin seeds, and then a few others. We've got about 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1/2 teaspoon of turmeric, about 1 teaspoon ballpark of black pepper. I normally don't measure black pepper, just kind of crush it to taste. And then we'll start with about 1/2 teaspoon of salt to be conservative, and then of course you can always add more salt later. I tend to be conservative with salt because I feel like you can always add more salt later to make something more salty, but you can't necessarily take away salt if you've over salted it from the get-go. Lastly, we've got 3 additional spices. So we've got 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne. Really, that's heat for your own taste. If you prefer it spicy, you can add more. If you prefer it less spicy, you can add less. We've also got roasted cumin powder, and then also my own homemade garam masala, which I'll also do another video for in the future to show you how I blend that. And then in addition to that, we've also got water, a little bit of oil to get us started, and then to finish, some cilantro or coriander that we will add to the very end. Okay, so to get the actual cooking process started, we are going to turn on our Instant Pot. As you can see here, it's off. So I'm going to turn it on to the saute mode. We're just gonna wait for it to beep. It's gonna beep in about a few seconds. There it goes. So I'm gonna add in my 2 teaspoons of oil. You can use any kind of oil you want. That's neutral, canola, vegetable, avocado oil. I have canola oil on hand. And so we're going to let the oil heat up for just a bit. And then we'll add in our cumin seeds to get the oil infused with that yummy cumin flavor. We're just letting the oil heat up. I hear that it's making a little bit of crackly noises, so I know that it's ready for my cumin seeds. So I'm just gonna dump in my cumin seeds. You hear that sizzle? So we're just gonna give the seeds a quick stir in the pot. So these cumin seeds have been browning in the oil for a bit. So now that you can see that they're nice and brown and toasty, you can smell the cumin in the air. We're going to add in our chicken. Just gonna dump that in. Give that a quick stir. And then it just gets easier and easier. Because once you add in the chicken, we're going to dump in all those spices we mentioned earlier into the pot. And that tomato onion masala. And then about a quarter cup of water. Now we're just going to stir that up. So we basically put in all the ingredients into the Instant Pot except for the cilantro, which we will use at the very end for garnish. So you might be concerned that there's not enough water in the Instant Pot. If you're familiar, you can get that dreaded burn signal if you don't have enough liquid, but just keep in mind that your chicken thighs will start releasing water from inside. So there's going to be much more liquid in this pot than you originally think. Okay, so we have turned off the saute method on the Instant Pot, and now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna switch it over to pressure. So I'm just gonna put this pot on. So make sure that you have that on tight. You're gonna change this little knob here to sealing, not to venting. Make sure that's the top, not the bottom. And then we are going to hit pressure cook. And we're going to do it for 8 minutes. Just 8 minutes. And then you'll know that it's on because it will start beeping. So the other thing to note is it says that you're going to be cooking this for 8 minutes, but that's the time that the chicken will take to cook once it's reached pressure. So when you're factoring in, you know, when are you going to get dinner on the table, you want to make sure that you're factoring time that the food inside the pot is going to reach pressure, plus that 8 minutes that you have designated on your Instant Pot, and then the time that it'll take to either naturally release or to manually release the pressure here at the top. So we know we'll have been successful with the Instant Pot and have avoided that dreaded burn error when the Instant Pot beeps and you see a bunch of steam kind of coming up out of the top of the venting, and the number actually shows up of what you set it to for the pressure cook. So we set it to 5 minutes, and that's what we can see here. So now the countdown begins. 5 minutes pass by really quick, and when that happens, the Instant Pot is going to start beeping. Really likes to be vocal to tell you what's going on the inside of it. The face here is going to change. So instead of a countdown, it's going to have a little L, and it'll tell you the number of minutes that have passed, assuming that you want to do a natural release. For this chicken curry specifically, we're going to do a natural release, so no changing of the venting on the top. We're not going to change the knob on the top. We're just going to kind of let it go until it's ready. So to give you a sense of what that looks like, the venting knob is still set to sealing and not to venting. You could do a quick release if you switched the knob from the top to the bottom, but we're not going to do that because that's going to create a little bit of a mess. I really want to focus on just using the natural release method. And right now, even if you wanted to, you could not open the Instant Pot. It is dummy safe. There's no way that you're going to have an implosion in your kitchen. So you can see there's that little silver knob that's right by the little black knob. When that silver knob is high up, as you can see there, it's like really close to the surface, That means that you are not allowed to open the Instant Pot even if you tried, because it's basically protecting you and making sure that you're safe. Once that little silver knob gets lowered though, so that it is no longer aligned to the top, that means that you'll be able to safely open the Instant Pot and enjoy your yummy food. So this chicken curry reached natural pressure in only 8 minutes, even though it says 10 on the dial right now. It's probably just because we only had about 1.5 pounds of chicken as opposed to more than that. So we're gonna open the pot together and see what it looks like. Whee! So that is what the chicken looks like now. I'm just gonna give it a quick stir. Looks nice and tender. All of that tomato, onion masala, and all those spices really kind of melded together. Just gonna add some cilantro to this. Quickly chopped up a bunch while this was cooking, reaching pressure. So we were pretty conservative with adding the salt in the beginning. We only had about 1/2 teaspoon, but I'm gonna do a quick taste test to make sure that the seasoning is the way I'd like it. That could mean adding more salt, could mean adding more pepper. We're gonna take a quick taste. Moment of truth. It smells pretty tasty though. The chicken's super tender. I made the right call by reducing the high pressure cook time from 8 minutes to 5 because my chicken pieces were cut a bit more small. This curry is really, really luxurious. It has like a really good like mouthfeel. It's kind of spicy, which is how I wanted it. And the chicken is just like cooked perfectly. I'm really enjoying this. I'm gonna be really excited to have this for dinner tonight. Hope you'll try this at home. Feel free to adjust the flavorings, of course, as you see fit. But thanks so much for watching.